Hi, superstars. It's time for math. We are on lesson 13-6. You learned to use sorting rules to solve problems about sorting a group of objects. Now you will learn to compare columns of objects in a graph in order to answer questions. A graph with real objects on it is a real graph. There are two groups of counters. Some are red and some are yellow. How can we make a graph to find out whether there are more red or yellow counters? What labels do you see for each column? A yellow counter and a red counter. So let's move our yellow counters in our yellow column. And we'll move our red counters in our red column. Now, let's look at the graph we created. Which column has more squares filled? The yellow column, that's right. So are there more red or yellow counters? Yellow. So we made a circle around this column. I want you to color in the yellow counters and the red counters over here. All right, and circle in the column that has more. In our next graph, I have 5 yellow counters and 3 red counters. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out, are there more red counters or are there more yellow counters? Let's count. Let's put these counters over here and find out. All right, let's look at our columns. Are there more yellow or red counters? More yellow. Correct. Are there fewer red counters or fewer yellow counters? There are fewer red counters. So what I want you to do is color in the column with the yellow and the red counters. And I want you to circle which one has fewer counters in them. Good job. Let's turn our paper over. All right, this picture, it shows a graph. What are the parts of this graph? Do you remember what these are called? Columns, and they're squares. What are these called? Column labels. Tells us where we put what counter. What groups of counters have been placed next to the graph? Well, we have 4 red counters and 2 yellow counters. Where have the yellow counters been placed? In the column over the yellow counter, or the yellow label, I'm sorry. So how about the red counters? Yep, they are in the column over the red counter, which is a label. Are there more red or yellow counters? How did you know? Well, the red column has 5 squares filled. Good job. And she circled it. So let's look down here. All right, let's see. Turn that off. What I want you to do here is color in the columns with the correct color that you see here. So how many red counters do we have? 2. Color in 2 red counters. How many yellow counters are there? 4. That's correct. So you're going to color in 4 yellow counters. Then I want you to circle the column that shows which group has fewer objects. Fewer objects. Not more, fewer. Over here, I want you to do the same with the coloring. Look at the red counters and color them in. Look at the yellow counters and color them in. Then I want you to circle the column that shows which group has more objects. Okay, superstars, until next time, have a wonderful day. I will see you later. Bye.